Welcome back to the Nichole Show, guys, for 2025, where we're having a bit of a theme of some amazing and inspirational men's coaches with their stories and their journeys. And today in the hot seat is my beautiful bestie, Cartwright. We connected about 4 years ago, maybe 3. It feels like a lifetime, but we have a deep connection, and this man holds space for healings, inner child, like no other. And so all his socials will be linked underneath, but stay with us as we dive down another rabbit warren of exploration, relationships, and just healing. Welcome aboard The Nichole Show with host Nichole Hamilton. Our task is to educate, empower, and change lives. Join us for stories of resilience and rebirth. Honest talks that inspire and challenge you. Are you ready to make a move? It begins now. Welcome back, guys, to the Nichole Show 2025. This is episode 4. And I am super excited because this is our 3rd time trying to make an episode with the beautiful Cartwright. He is a phenomenal men's coach, and I'm very privileged to call him one of my best friends. And yeah, the Nichole Show's kind of taken a little bit of a different turn this year of just, diving into vulnerabilities. But what I wanted to bring up is talk about friendships. But before we do, because I'm already in my ADHD head, I want everyone to, for you to introduce yourself, Aaron, and give us a little synopsis of you, and also why you do the work that you do, because I think that's like super important for our listeners.
That's a good question. So what I do, I'm a coach. I've been doing it since 2017, and the main reason was I was working on myself. I had issues with anxiety, relationships, my overthinking. I went to a psychologist in 2017. I was a PT at the time. And I loved helping people on the fitness and getting fit and, getting the body they wanted. But I realized there was something deeper. So I went to a psychologist, and it was good, but there was limitations. I knew there was something deeper I needed to find. And then I found another mentor, and we did a lot of mindset work. That changed my life. And then I became a mindset coach, and I never looked back. So I've just been doing a lot of personal development, working on myself, and I love figuring myself out. I'm very curious about myself, and I'm curious about other people too. I love to figure other people out, and I like to solve, it's like a puzzle piece. I like to solve people if they need assistance. So then I went down a pretty dark road in 2019 where I started having panic attacks. I had a gym at the time that was raking in a lot of money. It was quite successful. So I was making a lot of money, and my mindset tool stopped working. So I found a new mentor that did a lot of body work, so inner child work, breath work, and just different kind of modalities, and it changed my life. Sold the gym, went full-time into the inner child work, traveled around Australia. Well, actually, I met you first, then traveled around Australia, worked online, and I've been doing it ever since. So inner child work was really you could call it my savior. And I just wanted people to experience what I experienced because I was in a very dark place, and it got me out of it. And then I like to pass it on to people. That's pretty much like the crux.
And Aaron does hold the most phenomenal experiences with inner child. So if you ever get a chance to go to one of his workshops or be in one of his spaces or book a one-on-one, his links will be underneath. But I've done a lot of modalities and a lot of different things, and everybody has their niche and has their one thing that they're really gifted at, and that definitely is yours. It's super, super special because you can feel us, you hear, and you've held space for me quite a few times. And that just reminded me, you need to teach that. Like, I know you have your workshops and your one-on-ones, but the way that you actually teach your inner child is actually phenomenal.
Thank you.
But yeah, I love how you said like you like to figure people out. Yeah. Because, you and I were, we're a bit crazy, a bit, cheeky, the rest. Yeah. But as soon as you drop in, like you can just feel and see somebody.
Yeah.
And you've held space for me on multiple occasions, even when I'm in my head about things. And you really see somebody. And I remember we were planning to do that retreat and it didn't happen, but we were sitting there and I was going through my diagnosis. And you're like, what do you need? And I was like, I just need you to love me. And you're like, but I do. And the way that you just hold space for somebody, like that, I truly believe makes a phenomenal coach. Like somebody that can reflect back and hold space and truly like figure somebody out. It's such a safety. And, I've worked with a lot of different people, but you hold that beautiful space. And I just wanted to reflect because I'm getting choked up. That's a big piece of how much love that I have for you. And for the listeners that are listening, like I feel like you two can call in beautiful, integrated soul connections, friendships, and that from doing this work.
Yeah.
From rocking up to ice baths, from doing the work, for going to, different workshops, for putting yourself out there. A lot of my students and friends and people that ask, like, how did you, find these people? And I'm like, because I continued to show up for myself and do the work. Yeah. Because I continue to search for more.
Yeah.
It's really powerful.
And it's a self-worth thing as well because you feel worthy of it. I think there's two things. Like there's the self-worth, believing you deserve good friendships, relationships, and also putting yourself in the position to be around people that are like that. You're not going to go to nightclubs and find people that are like going to sit you down and see you and feel like there's a soul connection.
Maybe after drugs.
Maybe after a bit of MDMA, you think there's a fucking connection.
You're so beautiful.
Fuck, you feel so nice. Wow, this feels so good. I love everybody.
Yeah, correct.
It's short-lived, so that you got to put yourself in the right positions to find connections like that as well. So.
And you are right. There is a big worthiness piece. And, if you had met me in my 20s or have met you young, we would not have got along.
No, we would have butted heads.
We would have butted heads really badly. Yeah. But at the same time, like, I didn't know who I was in my 20s. I was a tryhard. I was taking drugs. I was a people pleaser. I was a gossip. Like, I had no idea how to be a good human and what I was capable of and what I was worthy of. And these are the things that are definitely not taught and probably not handed down by generation to generation and not taught in education. And so the beautiful way that not only you and but my other friends have taught to hold space, use really good communication tools, to set boundaries and be able to even have a rupture and a beautiful repair. To have a deepening of that though, and have a trust. Like, people have not learnt those things. And I find it super special, and also honouring the fact that you continue to do the work, to bring it back to your friendships, to your lives, to your people, to your clients too.
Yeah. It's very true. It's very true. You do it very well too. You see people very well. I think what you see in me is literally that old mirror. That's what you do very well. More than most people I know. You see people very deeply. Nicole's very good at that. If you haven't met her in person, you can feel her. She looks into your soul. She has this look. You're like, she's fucking seeing me. She sees my soul. That's what you.
And loves you anyway.
Yeah. That's what you're very good at.
And loves you anyway. And that's the thing that I think everyone seeks. Like, I believe that my superpower is unconditional love and being able to love many, and which is funny because we will probably touch into that. You're like, we're going to talk about poly. But I really believe that my gift is to love in this world. And because of that, I've had many, many heartbreaks. But I can hold space and feel people very well. And because I've worked on myself, and I still have my moments of insecurities too, but because I feel like there's an expansion of that heart, of the ability to call in more and to see more and hold space for more and love more, which is just, why not?
Yeah.
One life, YOLO.
Yeah. What's your theory on that? Can we go into a bit of a theory?
Of course. I knew you were going to tap into this because we had these like full podcast before, and for some reason they weren't uploaded. So we'll of course
we'll touch on it. Like you. So you've taught me a lot about like I believe I'm monogamous, but you've really opened my eyes to like you're so open and you're so loving you can hold love so deeply with many people. What's your theory on all this, like love and like?
Yeah, but I believe that honestly, like, well, for me, I'm bisexual, and so coming from a marriage with a with a husband and then a marriage with a wife now, there's a crossover. And it was that continual showing up and learning about myself, not only in my sexual needs, but my energetic needs and what I desire as Nichole, not as mum, not as boss, not as just what does Nichole actually truly want. That has been, and you've seen it, fucking rabbit hole of crossovers and pain and insecurities. But I continue to show up and have beautiful friends like you and you know, go to couples therapy and sex therapists and you know, Kundalini, like all sorts of different options. You want to learn from somebody who's experiencing it. And I believe that I called you in for an intimate male relationship, not sexual, but you and I have such a bond. Like I'm not like that with any other man. Like I'm so safe with you. Like if I need a cuddle or if I need a massage, like I know you're not going to cross a boundary, but you love me regardless. And that is beautiful. And I don't think people realize that you can have that. Like it's nice. You can hold somebody's hand if you like, if they want to, like you can actually, if you want to, you don't have to. But like you can ask for that, but we're not taught that. We're taught like, oh, that's for my monogamous partner. You can't hold my hand.
Yeah.
And that is a beautiful part of, I believe, in the escalation of polyamory, is that you can have many loves. And I truly believe you don't get everything out of one person. So that's why we do have friendships and, you know, work colleagues and different things. You can have intimacy with just one person if that's what you choose, if that's what your heart totally desires. But I personally would not get my needs met from one person because I'm bisexual.
Yeah.
And so working that out and calling in the right energetic frequencies and then working out what I desire from people. So I have my beautiful circle of girlfriends that are just friends that, you know me emotionally. I have my wife that is my one and only. And then, now through the work, you know, I am allowed to be intimate with men, and that's the relationship that Abs and I have. And she's on the vice allowed to you know, have other relationships with women if that's what she chooses.
At what stage did you know you were bisexual? Was it young
oh my God,
or was
yes.
it older?
7, like I reckon.
7.
Yeah.
So
conscious awakening, like around then. I remember it like, well, maybe even, because I moved house around there. So maybe 6 or 7.
Yeah.
I knew that I was attracted to girls.
So this is in the 80s, right? So this would be in the 80s. So back then it wasn't as acceptable. How did you deal with that? How did you deal with like your parents and kids and...
Like there was one girl like in primary school that kind of like we played around, but I just kind of then hit it. And then I was kind of a late bloomer when it came to like sexual experiences. So it wasn't until I was 16 and it was with boys. And then it wasn't until, you know, I actually did have a very safe boyfriend that would allow me to explore that. But super hard back then. There was no Facebook. There was no LGBTQ. I had to meet somebody from an ad in the paper to like talk about bisexuality. Like reply, meet her at the Cranker.
Oh, fucking
God, I know I look young, guys, but I'm 44 this year.
You don't
mind. And so for me, as I said, I feel like I have a very diverse life, which is hence why I've created the Nichole Show, because I never want anybody to feel alone. Like, you know, if you're in the LGBT community, if you're having, you know, bad sex or, you know, having a bad relationship with your partner, if your business is not going good, if you've got a drug addiction, if your kids need emotional help, like I have literally been in the trenches in all those parts. And I just want to share and know that even if I'm not the right person, I might know the right coach, because I've literally walked the walk and tried to always better myself and own my fuck ups. And there's been plenty. There's been plenty. But the relationship that Abby and I have now, honestly, yes, we still trigger each other, but we always come back to love, and we have the best communication that we don't hide anything from each other.
Yeah.
Even when we know it's going to trigger the other person, even when we speak our truth, because if you hide those parts, a part of you suffers and compromises, and that lives in there.
It's been inspiring to watch you guys. Sometimes, what you guys are going through, I thought that'd be very difficult, and you guys just make it through. It's communication, very open. I'm very inspired by that. Can we? I'm trying to see what I can touch and not touch into, but I'm curious about. Have you spoken about your older days of drug taking and stuff?
So I think that I've, you know, in previous podcasts, you know, I talked about that. It was again probably me not knowing who I was in my 20s, and my philosophy really is YOLO. You only live once, so. I didn't try all the drugs, but now that I wind forward and know who I am now with ADHD, I think methamphetamines became my gateway and my safety. And it was, there. And then when some big emotional things happen, like my grandfather's death, I turned to that for an everyday usage. And that's when my soul got rocked to the core. That's when I really started losing who I was and becoming miserable.
A lot of people don't make it. A lot of people I know do not make it through with meth, ice. So that's why I want to bring it up, just because you went through it and you've come through the other side and turned into this inspiring human, mother, partner, everything, coach. What was your secret to getting out of that?
The secret was keep looking. So I knew I had a problem, and everybody knows they've got a problem. It doesn't matter if it's sex addiction, drug addiction, alcohol, you all know it deep down. There's something to work on. And I went to those same places that you said, like you went to like psychologists and work. I went to the doctor. I, went to drug and alcohol counseling when it got really bad, but I was still kind of hiding. Part of me, mum and dad didn't know. And when I spoke it honestly, so number one, speaking your truth, like, owning accountability of where you're at was the biggest point. And, telling my mum and dad was a huge turning point. But I found a hypnotherapist. And that's why I'm a hypnotherapist. It's why I speak so well. It's because I've continued to study the art of language. But having somebody hold space for me, which is what you do in your own modality, and but ask the right questions. Every single human has their answers inside of them. And I just needed someone to help me find that click. Because when someone tells you something, like, how you should do this and this and this, this is how you fix it. No one listens to that. It's like, what do you think you need? How can I hold space for you? Like all those questions and wherever you go in your unconscious journey, when you get that click and that flick from whatever it is, breathwork, inner child, hypno, whatever it works, the euphoric thing of your body going, you're listening to me. Like I knew then and there in that one session that I was going to leave my ex-husband, I was going to find my light, my tunnel, and be sober with my kids. It didn't happen straight away, but I saw it.
Yeah.
I saw it. I didn't know I was going to go study and be a hypnotherapist. But, it continued on. And I was like, yes, universe, I need to tell people my story. I need to show them that they can find it through other channels because there are so many people out there struggling.
Yeah.
And when they do go and ask for help, they can't even get into,
6-month wait for psychology and that.
Well, for psychology or even, I think another friend just went into, what do you call it, rehab? Rehab. And when you get to that point, you are, and I know I was fucking suicidal. Like when you actually need it. So I highly, highly, highly recommend. There's some beautiful coaches that I do know as well, but addiction coaching is huge.
Yeah.
And it led me to here.
How many times have you been suicidal through life? Was that just one time?
I would say 3.
3 main times.
Yeah.
And was it always during the drug phase or was it after or before?
One was drinking as a teenager, and that was just like no friends and stupidity. So I think it was more of a cry for help, but it was the first time that I did something stupid. The second time was getting sober. Like I fucking wanted to die, like come downs and getting sober, like after ice, like that. I did need medication, and I went to the doctors to get antidepressants. And one time, which I actually haven't even spoken about, but it was in the time that Abby cheated on me, and she was just really, I was a fucking mess. Like I literally took tablets and then made myself vomit. I was not in a good place.
Yeah. How'd you get through?
Coaches. Yeah, every time. Like, I feel like there is also a divinity in whatever you believe, what, source, your guides, there's something where your soul just tells you, this is not for you, you need to stop, or you need to, like, there's something when you listen to that. So I was like, what have you fucking done? And I'm not a vomiter. Like some people, they can just, no. So anyway, I just fucking owned it and took myself straight back to whoever, I can't even remember my coach was at the time. And that's the scariest fucking thing, isn't it? When you actually, like, even though I've done this, hundreds of times, every time I rock up to a coach, even if I'm in a good place, I get nervous.
Yeah, it's normal.
Rocking up to a Zoom, because I'm like, what's going to come up this time? What's going to unravel? Where am I at? And I went for a new coach the other week, and his breathwork session was phenomenal. But I still get nervous. But when you come out of it, that's why I love holistic and unconscious coaches, because every time, like, you go to a psychologist, sometimes you walk away feeling worse than when you started.
Yeah.
More suicidal.
Yeah.
You go to a coach, every fucking session you walk out and you've nailed something or let something go or healed something, and you feel 1,000 times better.
Yeah.
That's why I so strongly believe in this world.
Yeah.
And that's why I like to bring it to kids, because I don't want a kid to be suffering in their 20s or 30s.
Yeah.
Play with them. Teach them how to regulate. Teach them about anxiety and confidence and the rest.
Yeah. What made you become a kids coach? Was it because of that? Did you go through something as a kid that you don't want others to go through?
You helped me realise it. So when we were having that bad time, in Queensland, when you held that space for me, I was in the hotel room and I was like away from abs. I came out, and that was the puzzle piece that came to me. I was like, fuck, my 7-year-old me, who was that people pleaser, who didn't know who she was, who was bullied and not attractive, and all the things I had in my head. She needed a coach, because your parents, it doesn't resonate. If your parents say, I love you or I'm proud of you, it's beautiful. Yeah. But it's not the same. But when someone else holds space and goes, oh my God, Aaron, just like, I feel you, you're so beautiful, I love you. Like, it hits a different way. And so being a coach for a child, if they pick you and you're their mentor, holding space for them is such a gift. And I realized that that's what I needed. However, there is a twist to that. I thought that's why I was like, I'm a mama bear. I do it really well. I can make games for kids, anything that's holistic. Aurora's just got diagnosed a month ago, and become quite challenging for me and Abby, which is hard in our relationship, because it's hard to parent her when she's in her defiance mode and different things. And it's a completely different behavior to what Jacob had. And I realized, and I did a little post about this today, that I created the kids coach. So I and Abby and our family could have a wealth of knowledge and support as well going through this. And we do. We have amazing coaches and teachers and OTs and different kind of therapists in our field that we can call on at any time and go, hey, we're struggling with this with Aurora. So maybe my future self knew that Aurora was going to challenge us. So yes, past self, yes, inner child was like, you needed me, but future self's like going, oi, you're really going to need this. Yeah. You're really going to need this.
I believe in that. Yeah, that's cool.
Hey everyone, Nichole here, and I hope you're enjoying today's episode. I just want to take a quick moment to talk to you all. If you're finding value in our conversations and loving the raw, honest dialogues we're having here, I've got a small favor to ask. This podcast is a passion project for me, and there's nothing I love more than bringing these stories and insights to you. So if you haven't already, would you consider subscribing to our show and leaving a review? It's completely free and it doesn't take much time, but it really helps us in 2 big ways. It's getting the podcast in front of more listeners, which keeps our community growing. It helps us attract more amazing guests, which means we give you more value in the episodes we bring to you. Just hit that subscribe button, drop us a review, and let's keep these conversations flowing. Now let's dive right back into our episode, and thanks so much for being a part of the Nichole's show.
So if you could let's do that. If you could touch into your future self, your guy up there, future Aaron, what is he, where is he pulling you to now? What are the messages he's been sending you, and where is he driving you and pulling you to and sending all these frequencies? What is future Aaron?
It's interesting. I was just talking to Crystal about this. There is a little crossroads at the moment, and my future self, I do feel like he's pulling me.
Yeah. Where's he pulling you to?
I think he's pulling me into similar. I'm always going to be where I am, which is I love coaching, teaching, and guiding people. But I think it's going to shift directions a bit, potentially more away from not the feminine stuff, but also a bit of a mix, more potentially business stuff, helping people with their mindset in business and in a child business. It's something towards entrepreneurship and helping entrepreneurs. Or something. I don't know what it is yet. I don't know, but I'm getting that tug.
Yes. And
I don't know why. So I'm been sitting with it.
I love that, because I just love it. And I've been working in this 5D realm and calling my future self. The funny thing is, it is really powerful when you play with some of these modalities. Like, don't call it in. Don't pay attention if you're not ready to do the work.
Yeah.
And it's scary, right?
Yeah.
Because you don't know what it is. I actually said to Abs, and Abs, if you're listening to this, I love you. And it was not meant to land this way, and you know it wasn't. But my coach at the moment, she's like, don't do the work if you're not prepared, because shit's going to change. And so I've been doing this frequency work. I've been smashing it in business. I've been doing all my rituals, changing some things up, changing my vibe. And I feel super passionate and energized for business and life and everything. And, you know, I just said to Abs, I said, this is actually scary, because my coach is going through something and a big transformation. And I said, I'm scared of outgrowing you.
Mm.
And again, like, we speak really honestly, and I know that landed harshly. It wasn't meant to. What I'm fearful of is her not growing with me.
Mm.
And that was the concept, and having those conversations, because when you start doing the work, things do shift here.
Yeah. What does that look like? What does that, like, say someone doesn't know what you mean by outgrowing? What does that actually look like in a relationship?
So for me, like, I have in previous relationships, friendships, been told I'm too much, or you always want more, and that's a bad thing. And now I really own that. Yes, I do want more. Like, I can see myself, you know, traveling and building this business and building the thing, and maybe living in Bali at some point, and growing and growing and growing, and calling in more in the poly world, and just in love in general. Like, I really see that abundance grow. And for me, just my normal people pleaser, my insecurities is, what if I push too far and it's not right for Abs? Or what if I outgrow? Or what if I want to do this? And where my growth goes, it's not in alignment for her. And what I mean, and I know she will always be in my life, because I feel that my future self just really wants to grow with her.
Yeah.
You know,
As a team.
as a team.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because I think it's really important in any relationship, even friendships, to continue to grow in that, because you're always evolving. Like, that person has to meet you on a new level.
Do you believe monogamous can work at all, or is it
100% I do.
Do you believe, like, some can work, some are just meant to be poly? Like, what's your theory on that?
I think that you decide in your heart what is right for you. I think if you're doing it out of fear, because I hear so many people say, oh, I could never be poly because I'm too jealous. I could never do this because of this, and I would never. If you're coming at it from a fear place, of course.
Yeah.
Of course. I have done a lot of, like, study on it, and I believe in the tribal way, in having a community, in having experiences and sharing families and different things, and that growth and getting it. As I said, poly doesn't always have to mean intimacy, but sharing a lot of your life instead of being isolated.
Yeah.
But, you know, I respect everybody's boundaries. If you're calling in your queen or your king and you choose not to share that intimacy, and that's your connection. And I've heard of, you know, people having amazing spicy lives forever and really connecting in that deep way. If that's what you choose, if you solely choose that and that's what you really want out of someone. For me, no. Just not for me.
Have you thought about being a sex therapist? I think you should.
I would love to at some point.
At some point, you need to do that, I think.
I think that I'm just very open, and, you know, again, that's why I created the Nichole Show. This is not for the kids. Like, I was really, it was another element of me speaking my truth. And I went from the kids coach, and I hid my pole dancing. I hid, you know, the bearer workshops that I used to do, like, down at Maslin's. I hid a lot of parts of Nichole that made Nichole, and then my relationship stuff as well, like working on Kundalini energy and with sex therapists and the rest. But every single facet of me, if every part of me is thriving, then that energetics goes somewhere. If there's a part of you that you're denying or shunning or compromising for, or feeling guilty about and pushing down, that does come up at some point. It does have a deep, you know, opening, and finding people that you can totally trust and open up to, that are not going to judge you, is the key. I'm sure at some point one of my videos or one of my things is going to go viral. I'm sure I'm manifesting that, and that I will get judged. But I am working on myself so much that when that time does come, that I will have the tools and resources to go, who cares?
Yeah.
Who cares? Yeah. Because this is what I'm doing. And fuck, I've got a great sex life. I've got a great relationship. I have the best marriage. I have amazing children. I have the best kids, and they are growing into evolved. And my business is growing, and I'm so fucking proud of it. So judge me.
Yeah.
Judge me.
Yeah. I was on the news years ago. I went on, did you know that?
I saw that in the thing. So, I don't know the full story of it, though.
Yeah. Well, when I had my gym, I put up a post. It was controversial, went viral. And then the Daily Mail contacted me, said they want to... It was kind of, I was labelled as a fat shame, which is funny because I'm not really that, but it was worded that way. and I went into the media, all the papers and all that. Had to do interviews and get my side of the story. But then the project messaged me and said they want me on the show that night, basically to get my side of the story. And they basically wanted to drag me through the mud.
Of course.
And that during that time, it made me realize that no matter what you do, if you've got an opinion, people are going to hate you, but people will love you too. If you're pleasing everyone, you're not being true.
100%.
So I was having death threats. I had thousands. I had phone calls all throughout the night for about 2 weeks. I had death threats and everything from men,
from
women.
A comment.
Yeah, from a post, and but you get support too. So what you're saying is like, you're gonna get hate.
Of course, I'm not for everybody.
Nah,
I'm not saying that I'm for everybody. I get judged sometimes for having photos of me in crop top and and the pole shorts with kids. I keep things very separate in regard to what's appropriate for age levels and the rest. But I am so diverse, and I think that is a quality of mine. That's what I was here to do, and that does give me the capacity of unconditional love, because I've been in so many circumstances that I now, which I judge myself for, I don't judge others for. And yeah, like I just want to open people's eyes, and know that if you're listening to this and any part of one of our stories is, relevant, that they're not alone. Yeah. Because for a long time I did feel alone. And, I was bullied when I was younger and didn't think I was worthy and, didn't really have any friends or, and now I know that I'm worthy of those friendships. I know that I'm worthy of love. I know that I'm actually worthy of speaking my truth.
Yep.
And all human beings just want to be loved and accepted and forgiven, which is why I believe in the Ho'oponopono so much, is keeping that mantra close to your heart.
Yeah.
Love and forgiveness for all, especially to yourself. Especially to yourself.
Yeah.
It's so funny that people thought you were a fat shamer considering how you grew up as well.
Yeah. They didn't know the full story, but it opened my eyes to human behavior and the media and everything. But the biggest thing was actually allowing people to hate me and actually sleep at night fine.
Yeah.
Knowing that, and what I was getting at was, as long as you're speaking the truth, you have the strength to stand in fire. Do you know what I mean? So if you're being real, because for me, I was being real to what I believed, and I stood in the fire because I believed in it, and I was okay.
Yeah.
And I know that you're the same. Like, you stand in your truth, and you would be fine if it went viral and people, because you believe in yourself.
Yeah.
Some people don't, and they crumble. They can crumble if one person doesn't believe it, and then they backtrack on what they're saying because we have a fear of being rejected by loved ones and society, so we don't stand our truth, and then we end up beating ourselves up and hating ourselves deep down.
I've definitely been there, especially in my teenage years and 20s and stuff. I had no idea of any kind of moral compass or who I wanted to show up in the world as. So it's really nice, and that's again why I do what I do. I really hope that nobody ever feels that pain of loneliness.
Well, you're very good at that. You're very good at not judging people. That's what I was saying before.
I judge. Let's be real. I judge. I do. I compare and then I judge, and then I take account of myself and go, hang on. How would it be from that person's eyes? What do they need? How do I do it? Blah, blah, blah. And then I retract.
Yes.
Every human being judges.
We all judge.
I am not perfect. I
judge
for sure. And then I pull myself back and go, oof.
Why
did I do that?
You're very good at coming back to love, though.
100%.
So I'll rephrase it. You judge.
I do.
So do I. But your ability to come back to love is very good.
Yeah, and hold space, because the biggest thing was when I first went to seek help. One of the psychologists was very young, very fresh out of uni, and she literally leaned back in her chair further and further, and her mouth got wider and wider, because you know how open I am. Even my stories in my 20s were bad, and she just had no life experience, and she could not help me. She couldn't write a referral fast enough, and I felt bad and more alone. And it doesn't matter what her client has said to me, and it has happened many a time that somebody has blown my mind with whatever the thing that they've brought to me. But never once, hand on my heart, have I ever shown that. I'm like, awesome, how do we work on that?
Yeah.
And just like let it process. Like, of course there's a judgment. I've had fear in my head, like, oh, fuck, why do I do that? But I trust my heart.
Yeah.
And I get out the way and I hold space from that place.
Yeah, you come back to your heart very well. That's what you do very well.
Yeah, and that's why I teach, and that's why I love, and it's in my website. I really believe that unconditional love is one of my superpowers. If you go and think about it. And the funny thing was, I only found out last year that pink is unconditional love.
Is it?
I was like, no wonder my hair's pink. No wonder my logos are pink. No wonder I'm drawn to pink. But it's actually unconditional love. So that's why I'm pink.
I remember first seeing you. That's the first thing I seen. I was like, fuck.
Who the hell was that guy?
I love her energy. It's a big energy, and fuck me, that hair is so pink. It was great. I could not see her. You just stand out.
Yeah, and you know what? The funniest thing is though, and the thing that I've been working on most lately is the fear of being seen, like deeply seen.
Because we want it. We want to be seen, but when we get it, we push it away.
Oh fuck! It scares the shit out of me.
Yeah, we deeply want it.
Do you know? Even Crystal said how much she loved me the other day, like full, like.
A deep.
Yes, and I had to get up and do something. And I unpacked it later. I was like, oh my God, why can I hold space for people all the time and do that? And then something so beautiful. It wasn't, she wasn't angry at me or anything. I probably could have held space for that better. She was deeply seeing me and holding such beautiful space and loving on me that I just wanted to run. And I was like, fuck, there it is again. I don't want to be seen. Yeah. Like she sees all of me, and I just recalled. I was like, okay. And so it's come up in a few different places in relationships and different things, and in my business too. So how you do everything, how you do one thing is how you do everything.
Yeah, I was actually thinking that today. It's so funny. Like literally half an hour ago, I was thinking about this. It's not so much we say we want to be loved, we say we want deep connection, but if you look around, you've actually got access to more than you think. But we block it because if you actually got the love that you wanted, people, you would freak out. So it's not about it's not there, it's there.
Yes.
Right? You feel more comfortable with getting people treating you like shit or rejecting you because that feels safer.
Or getting angry at you.
Than actually opening up to love. If you open up to love, you would all freak out. So we all freak out too. You got to get better at receiving love.
Correct.
That's the hardest fucking thing.
It's harder than we're unpacking this. It's harder than holding space for anger or other emotions. Like we think, I'm such a fiery person, I'm so angry, I'm so sad, or whatever it is. And you're like, okay, let's unpack that. Let's work on where those came from. But now I've worked on that. I was like, oh, fuck. It's the receiving of the love.
Receiving love.
And do you know what I worked out the other day? Is that I'm calling in, and because I have, in a full honesty, like fluctuations with business and finances, it's the receiving of love. Like money is love.
Yeah.
Money is an energetic way of receiving love. And if I'm rejecting that and fully being seen, of course, there's blocks.
Yep.
How you do one thing is how you do everything.
Yeah. It's the biggest thing, and you have everyone actually has love around them. Even in maybe you've got a bad family situation, and then look around. It's there somewhere, but we like to pretend it's not there.
And it comes from within.
It does come. Yeah, well, of course.
It's going to start at first.
Starts within.
Correct. 100%.
And then you can open up to receive it.
Yeah, 100%. And I think that's how we've cultivated these friendships.
Yeah.
We're chipping away at it.
Yeah.
We're not fully there yet.
Yeah. We're there. Come on. We're there.
We're pretty close.
Yeah.
We're pretty close.
But that's why in relationships there's always push-pull, where someone's pulling away and someone's trying to get the love from them. And then when this person stops pulling away and goes towards this person, oh, fucking, I don't want that. It's it's a push-pull.
It's the, what is it called? What is it called?
It's attachment styles too.
Yeah. But it's the magnetism and the
polarity.
Polarity.
Yeah,
that's
polarity.
The polarity of it all. There's the word I wanted.
Yeah.
So, if you could share something with the viewers that you think that they need to know today.
Yep.
What do you think it would be? Like, they're listening to us, and some of this may have made sense, and some might not have.
Yep.
But for somebody listening, what do you think that could help them? Some practical.
Let me tune in to who's listening. Yeah, I think it would be what we've been talking about. This is what I've been realizing. It's about getting good at receiving, which is crazy. But if we can just work on receiving love, I honestly think it sounds almost cliche, hey? But receiving love is actually one of the biggest things you can work on. It really is. You can do all the work, you can do everything, but if you can't receive love or receive money or receive help, you're going to go around circles and you're going to be a people pleaser, and then you're going to resent other people, and then you can go to more coaches or more psychologists and go around in circles until you get better at receiving. So I'd say that's the theme of the day for me to share, which is...
Because, it's funny. Like I said, back in that time, I remember you deeply, like, seeing me, and even times like I've let you see me cry. That sounds bad because I don't cry from love, but letting somebody love you in that darkness, letting somebody in, like, and I said, I feel broken with the ADHD, and you're like, and I'm like, just love me, and like, I am. I'm like, yeah, but I just need you to love me, and like, but I am, and it's because it's that circle, it's that block.
Yeah.
I think I need something, and it's fucking there. But I'm not receiving it.
Yeah. Yeah.
You're actually like, my whole heart's here, Nichole.
Yeah.
And I'm like, but no.
Yeah. And I think going on with that, when I look back at my dark times, like Dark Night of the Souls, and if I go actually into the nitty gritty, if I go into the moment, what was I doing? I was normally overworking. And why was I overworking? Well, I was trying to get the money. Why was I trying to get the money? Because I wanted to be worthy enough.
Yeah.
What was I doing? I was also people pleasing with a partner back then because I wanted them to see me as worthy. It all came back to being worthy. And what does that really mean? Was that I was trying to work for love instead of just receiving how I was and the worthiness I already had. It's kind of like, it is a bit cliche, but just loving yourself. It comes back to that every time.
Yeah.
Every single time I go around circles, I come back to, I'm not fucking loving myself. That's actually what's going on. I think it's the outside world. I think it's the money. I think it's that person's fault. Yeah. I'll blame that person. Situation. And, but if you go into nitty gritty, actually, I'm not loving myself, and I'm not allowing love to come in and receive love from others and towards myself.
So practice. We forget it and we relearn it. We forget it, we relearn it. So interesting.
So if you're in like a dark spot, have you been overdoing for people? Are you sick of people? Are you burning out? Are you sick of being the support for everyone else, but deep down you're feeling deflated? It's probably something to do with that you're not receiving your own love and other people's love and support.
I love that. And please know that, we are a wealth of knowledge, like we're both coaches as well. We also, I forgot to mention, we work together well as a team. We mentor and look after young children as well and teenagers. So Aaron is also a great youth mentor. So bringing this, the men's, the philosophies to our teen boys. Where was I going with that?
Just saying how amazing I am.
We are. Just saying how amazing. Letting the love in. Getting the love in. That's right. 100%. But we don't necessarily say that we have all the answers either. And so we are a wealth of knowledge, and we've worked with hundreds of coaches ourselves. So we know people right across Australia. If you have any questions and you'd like Aaron back on, I'd love to go into probably some more of your Dark Night to the Soul, maybe another episode. And, really just shining light on some of the dark places. But if you need any help, our socials are below, and we can always, refer you or, send you somewhere. That sounded wrong, but hopefully they got what I meant.
Just go with it. Sounds great.
I'm going to wrap it up there, guys. Thank you so much for listening to the Nichole Show. Maybe this one goes viral. You never know. Let's manifest that. Get ready for the love and the hate.
And the hate. Mainly the hate.
And that's okay. That's okay. But I am honestly sending unconditional love to every single person's ears that this lands on, and I'll continue to do this work. And bye for now.